As the 20th century dawned, warfare was locked in a deadly stalemate. The Great War, as it was known then, was a brutal chess match where the pieces were human lives. The Western Front was a labyrinth of trenches, a maze of mud and misery stretching from the English Channel to the Swiss border. Soldiers huddled in these trenches, emerging only to charge across a deadly expanse known as no man's land, under a hail of machine gun fire and artillery shells. The result? A horrifying stalemate where neither side could gain an upper hand, and the casualty count rose into the millions. This was warfare before tanks, a grim dance of death where advances were measured in yards, not miles, and the grim toll of human life was staggering. The need for a breakthrough was desperate. Hidden away in secrecy, a new weapon was being designed: the tank. In the early years of the 20th century, amidst the chaos of the Great War, a technological marvel was taking shape: the British Mark I, the world's first tank. This creation was no small feat. It was a massive, hulking beast constructed with steel and powered by an internal combustion engine, a rare commodity at that time. It was designed to cross trenches, crawl over barbed wire, and resist machine gun fire. This was the dawn of a new era in warfare, a leap from horses and bayonets to armored and mechanized beasts. The engineers behind the scenes worked tirelessly, their efforts shrouded in utmost secrecy. The word tank itself was a code name devised to mislead enemy spies into thinking they were crafting water tanks, not weapons of war. And so, under the guidance of naval engineer Ernest Swinton and industrialist William Foster, the tank came to life. The Mark I had two versions, male and female. The male was armed with two 6-pounder guns and machine guns, while the female sported machine guns only. It was a beast of many faces. The Mark I was a radical departure from the conventional warfare of its time. It was a gamble, but a gamble that would soon pay off. The first of its kind was ready to make its debut on the battlefield. The Battle of the Somme, 1916, marked the first appearance of the tank on the battlefield. The British Mark I, a steel beast unlike anything the world had seen, lumbered across the torn and muddy terrain. A technological marvel, it was a game-changer, designed to withstand the harshest of conditions and to break through the enemy lines. The tank's introduction was a spectacle that caught the enemy forces off guard. These machines, seemingly invincible, shattered the stalemate that had characterized the early years of World War I. The traditional trench warfare was disrupted, replaced by a new form of combat that hinged on mobility and surprise. The tanks were not without their flaws, of course. Breakdowns were frequent and their speed was laughable by today's standards, but their effect was undeniable. They signaled a shift in warfare, a new era where steel would rule the battlefield. The impact of these steel beasts was immediate and profound. The tank was a revolution, a technological marvel that turned the tide of World War I and set the stage for the future of armored warfare. The legacy of these steel beasts reaches far beyond the muddy battlefields of the early 20th century. They laid the groundwork for the development of armored warfare, forever altering the strategies and tactics of the battlefield. The tank's ability to navigate rough terrain, withstand heavy fire, and deliver devastating counterattacks made it an indispensable tool in the arsenal of modern warfare. Since their debut, tanks have undergone significant evolution. They've grown more powerful, more resilient, and more complex. Modern tanks are feats of engineering equipped with advanced targeting systems, impenetrable armor, and incredible firepower. They are the descendants of those early steel beasts, bearing the legacy of innovation and adaptation that defined their inception. From the trenches of World War I to the modern battlefield, tanks have forever changed the nature of warfare.